Here's a question about how to improve a free Toast host Toastmasters Club website, how to improve the ranking in Google. And I'm going to use this club's website as an example. This applies to any free Toast host website. I'm just going to use them as an example for everyone to follow along. So the first thing that's important to do is make sure the club is listed accurately in the Toastmasters.org directory. Toastmasters.org ranks very well in Google, and making sure you're listed there correctly is important, as the weight of Toastmasters.org does help translate to the clubs just a little bit, but it does help. In this case, I notice there's several clubs in Sarasota that begin with the city name Sarasota. When you write your club name, I'd encourage you to make sure you spell it out entirely. The example I'm going to show you here is when I search for Sarasota Toastmasters, the first result is SarasotaToastmasters.org, which is not this website in particular, or this club that the person's asking about. They're asking about Sarasota Toastmasters, but the club number is 777513. So when you search for Sarasota Toastmasters, it doesn't even show up. So it's important that whenever you write your club's name, write it completely. So in this case, instead of writing Sarasota Toastmasters, I'd encourage you to always write Sarasota Speakers Exchange. And this way, it's more likely that it will come up if you're consistent with the branding. Always use the club's full name. Now, as far as this website is concerned, the one thing I would encourage you to change on this home page is this cover photo. Now here's some code that the website runs in, and your picture here, now let me just bring it up this way. There we go. Your picture here is from the Toastmasters.org website. Now normally that would be good, but there's a whole bunch of free Toast host websites that are all using these same static photos. So I would encourage you to take your own photo and upload it instead of using these stock photos. If it's unique, Google likes uniqueness. All the search engines do. And just using a stock photo kind of tells them, yeah, there's not a whole lot here. It's the same as all these other sites. So you need to stand out. Now the one thing that I encourage you to do is name your picture something that matters to your club, as opposed to image number 1634. Call it Sarasota Toastmasters club.jpg or whatever the photo type extension it is, file type. And then also use the alt tabs on the photo that also describe your club. The alt tabs are something that helps a search engine determine what's actually inside the picture. The file name is less important, but it does help just a little bit. Now something else I would encourage you to do is, I notice on your meeting information and directions, the map, well, first it's not centered, but the address just points to a static address. There's nothing defined here. If instead you change the map to point to the name of the meeting building that you're meeting at, that's going to help a little bit. And what I mean is when I type that address in, I'm able to determine that that you guys meet at the Sarasota Official Visitor Information Center. So I would encourage you to use this map. This map is going to have a higher ranking because it's an official location as opposed to a random address. This will also help the visitor find your location because they'll know to look for the name of this building instead of just the address. So here is another Google search, and I should point out, and I did this on the other one, but I didn't point it out till now. You'll notice that I'm not signed into Google, and I've also changed my location to Sarasota, Florida. Now I'm in South Carolina, and Google can tell I'm in South Carolina based on my IP address. But these results are pretty close to what someone in Sarasota would get. There's other tracking information they use, but for the most part this is going to be close. Now here's the exercise that I'd like you to do. Try and think of terms that people would use to search for your club. In this case, I've used your actual club name, Sarasota Speakers Exchange. Now the first three listings are not your club, but the fourth one is. And it looks like that fourth one just hasn't cycled over to your .com address. So what we're going to do is look at these first three listings and figure out why they're ranking higher than you. And before I move on, the default text that you have, the congratulations, you're on your way to becoming a better communicator, personalize that to your club. Again, it's just like the cover photo or the homepage photo. You want your site to be as unique and distinct as possible. So let's move on to the first thing, the first listing. Toastmasters Club Free Toast Host. Now this is on the Free Toast Host website. It's not your club, so we need to figure out why it's ranking highly for your club. And the reason it's ranking highly is this site has been around for a long time, it's well indexed, and at the bottom there's this little directory that lists your club name, the Sarasota Speakers Exchange. So what I would encourage you to do is, and it says there's no website, I would encourage you to contact the club that owns this website, and if they are getting rid of the site, set up forwarding for it, which is preferable. If they're not doing anything to it, then see if you can get them to change this directory to denote your club being correct. So now we're going to look at the second listing. This is at the Herald Tribune. I have a tab open. The Herald Tribune has a write-up about your club. However, there's very little information here. So I would encourage you to contact the author, and I think that's on the full details page. There we go. Contact John Randall, who I assume is with the Herald Tribune, and see if you can get him to update this. If he's no longer with the club and not the official liaison to the Herald Tribune, then just call the Herald Tribune and get them to update this. Make sure that your website is listed correctly, that the URL is correct, and all the other details are correct as well. And on this first page, there's an opportunity to list a photo. I think that's a great opportunity to have a club photo or a picture of the building you meet at, whichever you like. Just put something there. It gets people's attention. So now we're going to look at the third listing. This is at sarasotapatch.com. The Sarasota Patch has this nice write-up. You might want to confirm if the dues amount is still correct and the meeting time. This was posted by someone called Butch Phelps. So you want to make sure all this information is correct. But one thing that's not correct is the URL to your site. First of all, it's pointing to the .org, but it also has www. So it doesn't come up correctly. And I'll show you. I'm going to open this in a new tab. And sure enough, it cannot find it because of the www, so it dumps you to the default nothing website here at FreeToastHost. So you want to make sure that those URLs are correct, and all the other information as well. So I hope this helped give you a starting point for improving your search rankings. Again, just go through a search that you think people would search for, look at the listings that are above your club ranking, and see if you can do something about them to fix them. Then also go back through it, and this is a tedious process. Type in Sarasota Toastmasters or Sarasota Exchange Toastmasters, or every combination you can think of people that they would type into search, and see what the results are. Dig through those results and see what you can do about them. It takes a little bit of time for Google to change its search rankings, but you will see your results climb, and you should start appearing higher and higher up for where you should rank. I hope this was helpful. Good luck.